So first of all, we have heard a lot about the ongoing economic growth in Myanmar, which is a kind of interesting market as well. So first of all, I would like to hear from you two. Why is everyone so interested in setting up a strong business foothold in Myanmar?
I think the potential of the country is there. In a recent report, McKinsey highlighted the fact that this economy can be multiplied by 4 or by 5 by 2020. Basically going from an economy which is about $50 billion today to 200 and 250. And why is that possible? Is because Myanmar starts the development of its country at a time where digital technology is available and affordable. So the story of Myanmar might very well be one of the fastest growth ever in history because of that factor of digital leapfrogging.
I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think you have to remember the opportunity is created because of the fact that Burma has been so cut off for so many years. The way that its economy has been repressed by the policies there for a long time. So there aren't many countries of that size in the world still that are able to come on stream like this. We saw when the Iron Curtain fell in Europe and the communist regimes became capitalist, we saw what could happen there. In China we've seen what could happen. Even in Vietnam within Southeast Asia, we've seen what can happen when a big country which has had its economy repressed for a long period of time is suddenly able to go and operate in a free way. And I think the other point that Luke makes there that's really important is the opportunities that technology and information technology, the digital age that they create, they're just going to accelerate anything that we've ever seen before. So it is a really exciting opportunity.
So for your first point, you said that does it mean that the government has come up with more policies that are relatively more conducive to the foreign investment as well?
Absolutely. The current Myanmar government really wants to create an investor-friendly climate. That's number one priority.
Yeah.
They've issued foreign investment laws. They are not perfect. They would be the first one to admit that. But the intention of making life of foreign investors easy is definitely there. Now you need to remember that there is a local business community as well, and their interests need to be protected as well. So it is a fine balance between, when you publish this type of law, a fine balance between being attractive enough for foreign investors without being unfair to your local business community.
Again, I think that's true. I think what you have to remember is we're getting a country, we've got a government here, an administration it's got to try and do something that it's never really done before, and so it's learning its way as well. And I think the most important thing is the intent. As long as they've got the best intentions. I remember that Mark Mobius said recently that he was one of the first investors in Vietnam, and he was perhaps a little bit too early. And the biggest mistake that he made was believing what his joint venture partners in Vietnam told him, and his main joint venture partner was actually the Vietnamese government. So he said you can never trust joint venture partners, especially maybe when it's the government. And I think in Burma we've got that whole cycle to go through, and I don't think it'll be easy, and I don't think it'll be a straight line. I think there'll be times when we make progress, and there'll be times of slipping back as well. And I think that's what always happens when an economy tries to engage itself with the world like this.
So it means that we need to take into account the foreign investment law to some extent, right? So how complicated is that? Do you recommend that if we would like to tap into this market, are we required to engage in the partnership or form a joint venture with the local businesses as well?
In many sectors, the law is quite liberal and allows foreign ownership almost 100%. And the recent example is that the two winners of the telecom bid are 100% foreign owned. They are not in a joint venture. But my recommendation and what we recommend to our clients is to get into a joint venture partnership, take a local partner. Because Myanmar is, although it's not very far from Thailand, is really different. The way people behave, the way people do business there. And I think it's better to leave that to your local partner to deal with those matters that you might not be so familiar with, and really concentrate on what you're good at, and have somebody on the ground who's going to be there for the long term, because you might be friends with some authorities that might come and go and with the next government. So if you have a local partner that you feel good with, I think it's very important. It's a key to success.